Hey there, I'm Rick, creator of Revelations Skirmish, a destructive combined arms miniatures game that you can 3D print from home. Now in this video, I'm going to be assembling a Corre H3V Sierra WarMech miniature. You can purchase this model from our site, link is in the description below. This version of the kit, which it's all part of the Sierra family, is actually going to be made up of 11 parts for the H3V. You'll find that you have the jumper pack, and the thruster that goes into the jumper pack, 2 of the Buster missile launchers, which will plug into the back of the Sierra torso here. Obviously the torso, the right and left upper arms, the scatter gun for the right arm, the knife extended for the lower left arm with the hand separate, and the legs and the pelvis is already one piece. Now this particular model, and it also comes with the 50mm WarMech base, and as always, we like to point out, notches indicate the rear arc. As I was getting ready to say, with this particular kit, the pose is kind of more in kind of a crouching slash about ready to charge forward kind of pose. So it helps a lot already having the legs already kind of balanced to each other. So that way you just glue it right onto the base right away. Now with this, I'm probably gonna have the Sierra, let's see, just to strategize, probably just basically aiming straight ahead. I think that's probably a cool pose as it is. So we'll glue it, the feet onto the base. And the reason that I like to check ahead of time is because for me, when I'm assembling my models, I like to have the torso aiming opposite of wherever the rear arc is. So that's why sometimes it's really helpful for me to kind of just get a rough idea of where that's going to end up being. And and in the past, I'll assemble models and paint them, and then it comes time to base them. And, at that point, I'm kind of gluing them on all at once because it's I like, generally when I paint, the entire model is assembled except for a couple of models. So I already know where the angle is going to be, kind of thing. So while we're waiting on this here to dry, move on to the jumper pack. Put some glue there. And this one is about to jump, possibly. So make sure it's kind of aimed about as low as possible. Set that over here for the moment while that continues to dry. And we don't really want to move forward. In my opinion, you don't really want to move forward with the arms until you really have the legs and the torso set, because the arms, you're going to want them angled kind of to tell the whole story of what you're moving forward with. So since the feet are probably getting pretty close to being good, put a little bit of glue here for the torso, and we're just going to pop this one on here, angling it down somewhat because this is kind of the not ninja, but it's kind of a more of a hunter, not the hunter WarMech, but a hunter in the sense of the knife here in the left arm is deployed. He's getting ready to jump in for some kind of sneak attack, in my opinion. Because he's got a scatter gun, so he's got to get in close in order to be able to get the kill. So just twist him around. The feet are not quite dry, but I'm betting it's safe enough that we can go ahead and plug in this jumper pack into the cavity here. Okay, spin him back around. And now the missiles are both going to be, it's a mirrored part. They're the exact same. So I'm going to want them aimed in the exact same place because that just probably makes sense, right? We'll do a little bit here on the front of them. We'll do the right side first. And I'll probably do something a little different because they're not going to be aimed with the weapon when the weapon is assembled. So we can aim them up a little bit higher. Might make sense, but what I do want to make sure is that they get as close to even with each other as possible, because these weapons are linked, so they can fire independently or simultaneously in the game. So I want to kind of emulate that, right? So let's do the left arm first, because this one has the knife sticking out, but the left arm, when you assemble it, is kind of coming across the torso, but I don't want it to be so close that when I assemble it, I won't be able to paint it later, because as I mentioned, sometimes I'll play with gray models. So you know, and I know that's considered like a gaming sin to some, but I don't really mind it, you know, because we only got so much time to paint in a day, and sometimes you just want to be able to play with your new stuff regardless of if it's fully painted or not. But because this left arm is kind of coming across the torso, I want to make sure there's enough room for me to be able to get in there to paint, but also for it to still look cool as we're doing it. So let's do this little bit of there. We're gonna set that down there into the upper arm. I'm gonna kind of break my rule a little bit because it might be difficult for me to be able to get the hand in there afterward with the knife kind of blocking my reach. So we're gonna go ahead and glue the hand on now. And I don't want the hand quite in my, well, I don't want it quite level with the knife. I'm gonna turn it just a little bit off center. I think that'll make it look more human. Which, I mean, it's a giant 2-story tall WarMech, but the WarMechs in Revelations move a little bit more dynamically than, you know, a lot of other Western inspired mechs. Do a little bit more here on this ball joint. Now we can go ahead and pop this in and kind of look at it head on so that it can look really cool with the knife out, but it doesn't feel, maybe something like this. Yeah, I feel like if I raise the arm too high, it's gonna seem like it's trying to shield its face with a knife, which makes no sense. And if you do it too low, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. I think that height kind of makes sense for this. And then with the right arm here, this is gonna be kind of more like, it's angled outward and away, you know. So it kind of really feels like the knife is deployed, the Sierra just jumped and then landed, and it's crouched down in the land and is about to move forward with an attack of some sort, probably with the knife. That's probably why the knife's deployed, right? Get that finished. Add the glue here to the ball joint. And we can glue on the last part. So we want to make sure that arm is kind of angled down, but also away. The Sierra H3V, all ready to get out there and start causing problems for the enemy. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to purchase this model, you can click on the link in the description, or you can go to our web store. Talk to you guys in the next video.